What's going on, guys? CommandoSanta here, and welcome to a new series that I'm going to be embarking on. I will be playing a pretty beginner kind of playthrough of Factorio. So, Factorio is a game that is probably one of my favorite games I've ever played. It takes like a lot of time to do things, but you get super lost in playing this game because there's always something to do. Even from the early game always starts out a little slow, to say the least, because you're doing a lot of like hand mining and stuff, but once you start getting into like basic automation and start going down the research tree a little bit, oh my gosh, it gets insane. It gets super fun. You really lose yourself. Like I found myself staying up to like wee hours of the morning playing this game, and it's insane. So one of the other things about this game that people are really interested in is the modding scene for it. Modding for this game is very, very fantastic, and it's super supported. The devs love the modding scene for it as well. There's a few really good mods out there that I personally would like to play, but I haven't yet. But I think later on, if this takes off, I'm probably going to do this series, and then after this series is over, or after a certain amount of time, I'm going to start a modded series, but we'll get there later. I wanted to keep this series almost like not a strictly beginner, but at least in the first few episodes, as I start to discover things and start to play a little bit more, and I'm going to be explaining heavily of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So it's going to be really good for, intermediate players all the way down to beginner players. This is going to hopefully keep this informative enough where even if you've never touched this game before, it makes sense, and you can also like follow along with me if you'd like, or you can just watch and enjoy. So let's get into it. So we're going to do play. We're going to do a new game, and I'm going to do default map exchange string. Do I want to do? Yeah, a seed, sorry. Let's do a seed. What should our seed be? Do I have any numbers around my desk that are going to be something? Let's see. 5414 sounds good to me. Let's go. I think I'm going to leave everything vanilla. So everything's going to be left normal, and we're just going to play it. Even if the map is going to be not too good, I think we're going to play it anyway. And if you want to follow along, you just put 5414 in this map seed and play it. This is Factorio Freeplay. Your task is to launch a rocket into space. Do this by constructing a rocket silo and launching a rocket with a satellite. You will need to research advanced technologies in order to unlock the rocket silo. Start small, work your way up with automation, and don't forget to protect yourself from the natives. Tab. Okay, let's see what we got. Wow, this is actually fine. So we got copper, we got iron, we got stone, got a couple stone. Those are tough to see with the map. Tiny bit of oil, good amount of coal. We have a little coal patch over here, coal over here. So this is fine. This is expandable. That iron's going to last us a while. This iron's going to last. This is perfect. I'm really happy. This is actually one of the better ones I've started off with, in all honesty. So let's get to it. So for those of you who have not played Factorio before, it is a game about automation. You start by, doing your own handcrafting things, almost, just kind of surviving. It's not like your typical survival where you're going to like have to eat food and sleep and shit like that. This is going to be a survival from the local natives, as was currently talked about. And then you're just going to you're going to try and get yourself off this planet by building a rocket and putting a satellite into orbit, which will take a very long time. I've only done it a few times, so I'm not the best at this game at all, but so right away what I did was take our first few iron plates and turn them into pickaxes. So iron axe. This allows us to not try and beat things with our fists in order to mine things, which is not effective at all. But yeah, the other two things we start out this game with is a burner mining drill, which is just a automatic mining drill that you place it, it mines resources, you have to feed it fuel. And then a stone furnace, which you feed it fuel and it smelts things. So like iron and copper. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some fuel for these mining drills. Ooh, I actually got a lot of coal from mining some of those rocks, so that's going to be perfect. So let's place this mining drill. I'm going to place it over the iron ore first. And we're going to do half and half. So as you can see, this is just going to run. It's going to burn fuel, burn this coal, and then make iron ore by taking it out of here. These are not infinite at all. These will run out after a while. After you do like some upgrades and stuff to like mining drill efficiencies, you will start eating up all of this really quick. But that's not till probably later game where we have to worry about that. And it kind of causes you to like get a certain factory setup and then forcing yourself to expand to different places, either using belts or trains, which is super fun. We'll get there later. But I'm going to turn on more information mode, which is just Alt. It gives you a little bit more information, kind of shows what's being made where, and it's just quality of life thing. As you can see, this is showing us we have iron plates, so we're going to take these iron plates. Now, I'm going to grab a few more things of coal. Coal is going to be in short supply, at least in the first early stages of the game, because we need a lot of it in order to power all our things, because we're pre-electricity. So I'm gonna get around 10, just so I can do like an easy split stack. And we have another burner mining drill. So let's actually start automating coal production. So I'm going to make 2 burner mining drills. And this is a little trick I picked up by watching a few other streamers and stuff. Do 2 like this. Okay. And really, all you need is 1 piece of coal. Once you put 1 piece of coal into here, it's going to pretty much mine coal, put it into here, and this one's going to use that coal as fuel, and then put it into here, and then that one's going to use this as fuel, and then put it into there, and that one's you kind of get what I'm saying. The most optimal technique here is going to be 4, so you have it kind of in like a circular format of 4 of them, but really that's only good for the early stages before you have to start belting the stuff, which we'll get there later. So right now, this is just going to start filling each other up, which we can slowly grab. We see we already got like 23. Let's grab more of these iron plates because we need them to make these burner mining drills. We have a bunch of stone from after I mine the stone here. I'm going to get 1 of the mining drills, 1 of the stone furnaces, and we are going to get some copper ore going. This is our closest one, which is going to be fine. Got a lot of rocks over them, so we might have to mine some of these rocks out. Are some of these not actual rocks? Yeah, some of these are just terrain rocks, except for this big rock. Or huge rock, sorry. Let me just mine this huge rock. Let's just get out of the way now. Bam. And we got some coal out of that too, which is going to be even better. So we're just going to place this here. And do the same thing. This will last us a while. I'm actually going to put a lot more in here. Oops. Bink, bink. Okay, so that'll be good for a while. We're going to need a little bit of copper just for random things here and there. About late early game is when we're actually going to have to start worrying about copper production. Usually the first thing I try and get set up in early game is iron ore and iron plate production, because that is quite important. But yeah, let's grab some wood too, because we always need some wood. Wood is pretty useful for making crude wooden crates, for storing objects, and power poles, which we're going to need a lot of once we get electricity going. So that should be enough for now. Got a lot of stone that I don't need right now. What is the first thing we're going to want to get started? I guess we can get some science started soon. So let me show you guys the research tree. This is the research tree. A lot of things feed into a lot of things. It'll start making sense a little bit as we go. But usually the first thing you want to grab, and at least the first thing I grab, unless you're working on like Death World, is automation. Because you want these assembling machines as quick as possible because, especially for me, I am lazy as crap in this game. So I want to get things where I don't have to craft them by hand as quickly as possible. So we're going to grab this. But as you can see, it needs these things called red science packs. So I'm just going to hit research, and research does not happen automatically. Research happens in these science labs. So these science labs are almost like anything in Factorio. You need to feed them items. And what we need to feed them is these red science packs, which are items that we can make. For the first part, we're going to make these by hand, but we want to automate this as quickly as possible. Science packs are going to take copper plates and iron gear wheels, and iron gear wheels are made by iron plates, as you can see here. They take 2 iron plates and take half a second to make. So, perfect. So, now we got that started. So, one of the other things that labs require is electricity. So one of the first things I'm going to get started right away is bootstrap just a tiny little bit of electricity production just so we can get that going. I'm going to grab all of our coal we have so far, our iron plates, we got up to 55, and I'm going to grab whatever copper we have up here, and we're going to start doing electricity. Now, electricity takes water because our current electricity production is going to be steam powered. So we are going to need one of these offshore pumps. That's going to take a little bit to build. And we're going to need boilers. So offshore pumps are going to pump water into these boilers. And boilers are going to boil them into steam and then feed them to these steam engines. Now, the optimal ratio for the version I'm playing on, which is 0.16, right? Yeah, I think so, is going to be 1 boiler to 2 steam engines. So I'm going to need a little bit more iron in order to make a steam engine. We need 3 more, so we're going to hang out a little bit. And 1 more. There we go. I'm actually going to hang around for just a couple more just so I can get these pipes made just in case we get something weird. And yeah, so we're going to place this offshore pump somewhere. Somewhere that's kind of close to coal, which I'll explain in a minute, but kind of out of the way of everything because we're going to be expanding this. So I think I'm going to come like this one right here. So let's bring it out just a little bit. And we can have the steam engines go like this. I hope that fits. Will that fit? I might need another one. No, that's not going to fit. So I'm going to need another pipe. Bam, that'll work. Okay. Let me go grab another pipe, which is just more iron plates. And 1 more. Place it down. Okay. Now, these boilers need coal. Or really any fuel. I mean, that's pretty much it. So one of the things I'm going to make is a wooden chest because I don't have the resources to belt coal up to here yet. So I'm just going to put a wooden chest down. Put like this stack of 27 in there, and I'm going to make a burner inserter. Burner inserters do not require electricity, they just require fuel. So it's going to feed itself, and then start feeding the boiler, which is then going to start taking the water from the pump, and then sending it into here. So we're going to make a little bit of small electric poles. And do I have enough to make a lab? No, I do not. I'm going to need some more iron to make a lab. One of the other things we're going to want to do is actually up our iron production as well. Let's actually get that done right now. This will actually help us in the long run. Let's go grab more of the coal. Wow, we got 100. Perfect. Now, this stuff right here is only going to be temporary, because we're going to want to change this up a little bit to be more useful. But right now, this is useful as is, but later it's not going to be. There we go. So that's going to start pumping like crazy. We're going to start making a pile of iron plates, which is going to be exactly what we want. So how much do we need for a lab? We're going to need roughly 36 iron plates. And I have 20. So we need 16 more. 32. See, production of iron plates is going like crazy now. This is great. 6. There we go. We can make a lab. Now we're also going to need iron for science packs. So luckily we have this going. So before I place the lab, let's get enough to make 10 science packs. We have the copper for it. We just need the iron for it. Because we're going to need, you know, 2 plates each science pack. So we're going to need 20 in total if we want 10. There we go. We're going to do 5, 10. So while that's going, I'm going to place a power pole. And we're going to place a science lab. Now, you might be asking why I put it over here. Because if we need to expand this, I'm going to be expanding this down. And as I told earlier, I'm lazy. I don't want to move this. I'm going to move this when I need to move it. Once I actually have science pack production going like crazy. So now we have our first stack of 5. So let's get that in there. And it's going to start eating each science pack. As you can see, it takes a good amount of time. Which is just, you know, research takes a certain amount of time. So all we have to do is wait. So once this 5 is done, I'll put that back in there as well. And yes, we need only 10. So once it eats through all 10 of that, we will have researched automation, which is going to be perfect. And there we go. Put that in there and we'll let it go. Now, one thing we could do is do a couple more of these mining drills so we can get coal production going like crazy, because we're going to need more to feed this stuff. As you can see, we've already run out here. So let's go do that. We only need 2 more for that circle of 4 like I explained earlier. And there we go. As you can see, they just keep feeding each other, which is going to be perfect. So all you have to do is run over here and grab all the stuff. Perfect. Because it will always leave itself 1 as fuel, because it pretty much already is burning that fuel. Sometimes you can catch it at the exact second where it's about to load the fuel in, and it'll yell for a second until it gets some fuel, which is really funny. You have to be really lucky when you hit it like that. Or unlucky, I guess. So yeah, automation is almost done. So once that finishes, I think the first thing I'm going to do is focus on belt production, which is going to be quite useful. So I guess we could start using electricity a little bit. So I'm going to grab some copper. And see, it's still chugging along over here, which is exactly what we want. Grab that. Look at that, 104 copper plates. Perfect. I'm going to make 3 inserters. And these are not like burner inserters. These require electricity. So they require a electric pole somewhere in proximity. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make a couple belts at first. We're going to need 1 and 2 assembling machines. Another 1, 2, 3, 4 inserters, and a chest. That'll all make sense why I picked that, but I'll explain in a minute. So I'm going to take this stuff. I'll take it up first. That should be good enough. 1, 2. Don't need that much. Oops. Okay. Now, let me explain why I did it like this. So, what are we making? We are going to be making transport belts. What do transport belts require? 1 iron plate, 1 gear wheel. We know what a gear wheel takes. It takes 2 iron plates. So, we can make a gear here. This is what assembling machines do. You pick the recipe you want it to make, which is going to be iron gear wheels. Now, it's going to be needing iron plates. So this inserter is going to grab anything that's an iron plate here and put it into here. Now that we are making gears, we can make transport belts here. So we can grab iron plates off this belt right here and grab iron gear wheels from this assembling machine. And then after that, it'll probably put itself in this chest, which will limit to like 3 stacks of them. So we are going to need to run some power over to our power plant. Because as you can see, it's yelling about, oh, I need power. Which is easy to do. That's why we have power poles. Now let's go run this up here. And right there. And right there. Okay. So as you can see, it is using electricity. Therefore, these are starting to work. Let's go see the fruits of our labor. Look at that. We are now automatically making belts. So as you can see, mines, smelts, puts on a bus or a belt, and then it starts taking the stuff off the belt. And look at that, we already have 15. So that is a perfect amount. But we're going to need a lot more here, so I'm going to leave this episode here. What are we going to work on next time? I think we are going to expand upon our smelting. We're going to start creating automatic production of science packs, which is going to take a little bit. So it might be good to start. Yeah, I think we're going to do science packs, and I think we're going to start getting our iron plate production to something better and relying on electricity, because just to get rid of burner mining drills and this kind of setup as quickly as possible. So that is going to be it for this episode. So make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.